When you go under contract to buy a home, one of the first things you're going to do is a home inspection. It can feel stressful depending on the results. But as I talked to my home inspector friend who's completed over 2,500 home inspections, today we're going to discuss some of the most important items and some of the most overblown items of a home inspection. And at the end, some tips for those buying new construction you might want to stick around to listen to. Hey, it's Ray from Mortgage Maestro Group, and here are 6 items that are really important through the inspector's eyes on a home inspection. The first item, water. Water will find a way, everybody. From drainage, concrete can settle and move. They can show you if there's previous leaks inside the property. One of the things that he said is you can look at ceilings to see if there is a differentiating texture. Use a flashlight, maybe your iPhone, your flashlight from that. Texture is hard to match. Drywall repair is hard to complete flawlessly, so look for differences in texture because it can cause hidden mold growth. The second item that he discussed with me was the roof. It's a big expense. It's typically hard to see. You may not get on the roof, and if you're buying while there's snow on the roof, maybe that warrants a roofer to do an inspection on the property. Get the backstory, look up permits. Hail damage in previous years can be an indicator of a roof that might need further attention. You can always seek to get a 5-year roof cert if that is called out in your home inspection. The third item we discussed was windows. They last about 20 years, according to my friend. And the thing that we talked about was the springs, the locks, the overall safety of the mechanisms, and the potential for water to get in those windows. So what you can do is you can open and close them, look for the operation and the locking function of the windows. If they don't lock properly, you might seek to put that on for repairs as an inspection objection. The fourth item, HVAC, or let's call it mechanical. You want to look for the age of the systems, from the furnace, the air conditioner, the water heater. Let's go down the line. Furnaces last 20 to 25 years. Then they can siphon off money. Servicing gets expensive, but preventative maintenance on these items is very important. So find a qualified local repair company that might come by and service these items yearly for you as a part of home ownership. The air conditioning, about 20 to 25 years. Water heater, 12 to 15 years. You can look at the information tags. Things like the AC and the furnace should be serviced regularly so that you can lengthen the lifespan of those. Make sure when you get into that property that you change those filters a few times a year to extend the lifespan, especially if you have pets. Make sure to change those filters. Check the filter when you go in for your inspection to see if that current owner is changing the filters regularly, because it can reduce the lifespan of a furnace. The fifth item, radon. 75% of homes with basements come back with elevated levels of radon. Even at times where they may have a mitigation system, this is something to check on. It can cause the radon levels to drop, but data shows that radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer after cigarettes. So something to take into consideration is the radon levels in the home. And the last item, sewer systems. There's 3 big components with respect to the sewer system to take consideration of. Root growth without damage to the pipe isn't necessarily a bad thing. It being called to be cleaned out, and then from there preventatively along the way through your homeownership journey. Belly or low sections, anything more than 6 to 8 feet could cause debris and waste to collect, but a belly isn't necessarily a bad thing. It might just warrant further consideration as part of your inspection. Offsets can be problematic, and then the material of that sewer line. So some repairs that have popped up even more recently have included, instead of replacing the actual line itself, is running a sleeve through those, because one of the most expensive parts of the sewer is actually the excavation part of the repair, not as much of the plumbing parts of the repair, but nobody wants a sewer backup in their house. As far as items that might be commonly blown out of proportion, 2 things came up. One surprised me, and that is foundations. Hairline cracks can crack us as a buyer, freaking out about the structure and the security of that foundation. Remember though, in Colorado, we have expensive soil, so in homes you can see settling if a basement was dug out, if it's new construction, etc. Cracks less than 1/4 of an inch with no lateral movement, no water coming through, probably nothing to be worried about. If there's flat work, basement slab, garage slab, if it's within 1 inch of movement in that area, it can be considered acceptable by standards. The second item, as it relates to things that might be blown out of proportion, a report with a lot of items. A recent report that I had 75 items on it. Average report has 50 to 60 items. Most of those, if they're outside of the safety items, think of them as your punch list through your next few years of ownership to have them fixed over time. So a little bit of homework when you own, but not necessarily something to terminate the contract on. Of course, you got to be comfortable with moving forward, but the number of items alone shouldn't blow you out of proportion on a home inspection by itself. Now, for those buying new construction homes, 2 points to consider. One is doing a pre-walk inspection so that you can have a report to give to the builder for them to pay attention to things that maybe have been overlooked through the construction of the home. And another one might happen at the 11-month mark after ownership, which is at that 1-year warranty, folks. So that way you can go back to the builder, items that maybe have been overlooked, forgotten, that weren't addressed on your walkthrough before closing. Many times with those communities, items might repeat themselves within a new construction community. At the end here, I've got a video for you on 5 tips for a stress-free loan approval process. Might be worth a watch if you're getting ready to go shop for a home. I certainly hope that you found value in learning some of the ins and outs of home inspections. Nothing to fret, but definitely take consideration of. Make sure to comment questions below, and if you found value in the video, subscribe for more information like this on building wealth through real estate.